just states that stress is a state of mental tension and worry caused by problems in your life. These problems can be associated with money, work, even losing a house, moving home, new jobs, etc. Something that causes strong feelings of this worry that can lead to the anxiety. Now, anxiety is a fear or nervousness about what might happen. So we're thinking about fears that, again, going in, starting a new work schedule, moving house, possibly having a baby, worrying about money situations, the future. So it's the feeling of wanting to do something very much, feeling anxious for it. And depression is a state of feeling sad. So it really is a serious medical condition in which a person feels very sad. They're nearly hopeless. They feel unimportant, often unable to live in a normal way. So I'm sure we have all at one stage or a couple of stages in our life suffered from this stress, anxiety and depression, if not all three. So stress is a fact of fact. For most of us, stress is a fact of life, but unfortunately, research does reveal that it's also a fact of fat. So understanding it a bit better, this is the adrenal glands, and I would have showed you this before. The adrenal glands controls basically, they are the mechanisms that are occurring in our body. So they are controlling how we deal with stress and anxiety. So the adrenal glands are the two small glands located on top of your kidneys. Their purpose is to help the body cope with stress, okay? Very important that they are functioning properly. The adrenal glands are unique in the part that there is an inner adrenal medulla, and this has a direct connection to the brain in virtually all other hormone producing glands in the body. So the message to secrete a hormone is going to be transmitted via chemical messengers traveling through the bloodstream. So looking inside, each adrenal gland has two compartments, okay? So the medulla is the compartment that modulates the sympathetic nervous system through secretion and regulation of two hormones. This is the epinephrine and the norepinephrine. So these are responsible in the fight or flight response. So again, linking in with that cortisol hormone that we would have talked about. The outer adrenal cortex composes of about 80% of the adrenal gland, and it is responsible for producing over 50 different types of hormones in three major classes. Now, these are the glucocorticoids, the mineralocorticoids, and the androgens. For the most important glucocorticoid, we just need to really understand cortisol, okay? So when the cortisol is lowered, the body will be unable to deal with stress. And this is going to happen with adrenal fatigue, which we will go into. There are three parts of the adrenal cortex. It is further divided into the three layers, and this is just the zona glomerulosa, the zona fasciculata, and the zona reticularis. And it's just important to understand that the medulla and the adrenal cortex are going to be coming into part, having hormones that are going to be playing and helping us deal with those stress levels. So if they're not working properly, we're going to be in trouble. So how it all works? Well, as we said, when we are in an environment of stress and worry, the sympathetic nervous system stimulates the adrenal gland. Okay, this is going to release the hormone epinephrine or adrenaline into the bloodstream. Okay, so the adrenal is a modified amino acid hormone, and the tissue that the adrenaline targets is mainly cardiac and skeletal muscle. So therefore, this in turn is going to increase the heart rate and the blood pressure. So it's going to provide more oxygen to working muscles. So it also increases blood sugar levels, which we have previously learnt to provide more energy to cardiac and skeletal muscles. So really seeing stress and worry activating those hormones that are going to release fight or flight hormones from the brain, increasing blood sugar, increasing heart rate, increasing energy to the cardiac and skeletal muscles. So in the past, your body would have been able to run from problems, from fear, from animals hunting with those issues that we would have seen in the past. But because we don't see that nowadays, we're sitting at our desks, we're worrying about jobs, we have this increased blood sugar level, increased heart rate, and increased energy to the cardiac and skeletal muscles. So this is easy to see why the excess cortisol leads to the weight. Being able to handle stress, anxiety, and that feeling of depression is key to survival. And our bodies adapt to handling this, okay? So before we talked about the increase in cortisol and adrenaline that leads to increase in blood sugar levels and result of increasing insulin. So this is the cortisol which tells your body to replenish that energy. As we said, the cortisol, one of the most important glucocorticoids. So when this is lowered, the body will be unable to deal with the stress, increasing weight gain and also resulting in adrenal fatigue, which will further lead to more weight gain. So mineralocorticoids such as aldosterone modulate the delicate balance of minerals in the cell, especially sodium and potassium. So it therefore regulates our blood pressure and the fluid in our body. Okay, so that mineralocorticoids such as the aldosterone are going to, you can clearly see, giving everything a balance. So even when the cortisol is coming up, we're still relying on other factors to help keep things balanced. But stress increases the release of that aldosterone, causing sodium retention. So this leads to water retention and again further high blood pressure and the loss of the potassium and the magnesium in the early stages of adrenal fatigue. So magnesium is actually involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body. So when the body lacks magnesium, it will suffer from a variety of pathological conditions such as cardiac arrhythmitis. So we're really seeing stress, which we need our adrenals to be coming in to help function and stop our blood sugar levels from rising, can become overworked and overtired, leading to this adrenal fatigue. So starting to pull things together. When our adrenals won't be working properly, we can't manage stress properly. So if our adrenal glands are overworked, the body can also be overactive with the adrenal glands. So this is where they are producing too much cortisol and possibly other adrenal hormones. So since cortisol plays a role in elevating blood sugar, this is often accompanied by increasing blood sugar levels. Over time, this can end up to conditions associated with metabolic syndrome and insulin resistance. So we can have an overworking adrenal cortex and an underworking adrenal cortex because it has been overworked and it has caused it to become tired. Okay, so just to have a little simple diagram, because what causes dysfunctional adrenal glands? Unfortunately, lots of things: mental emotions, stress, food sensitivities, blood sugar imbalances, infections such as parasitic or bacterial or fungal, excessive exercise, basically anything that is perceived as stress on the body. So look at this together. Stress comes in on the body. We're going to stimulate the adrenal glands to produce cortisol. Okay, brilliant. This is because the body's coming into fight or flight. Over time, this causes adrenal exhaustion and low cortisol because they have been overworked. Therefore, the body makes the response less able to respond to stress. It's not going to be working efficiently, causing us to become lethargic